News Services Division of All India Radio presents Northeast Diary. Good evening. Welcome to this edition of Northeast Diary. Here we bring you the latest developments from India's unexplored Northeast region. The vibrant Hornbill Festival in Nagaland has come to an end with a riot of colors and sound. We will take you to the Naga heritage village Kisama, where the closing ceremony took place. We will also take you to a lively market in Manipur, which is entirely run by women. The National Conference on Nalanda Buddhism, retracing the source in the footsteps of Acharyas from Nalanda to Himalayas and beyond, was organized by the Indian Himalayan Council of Nalanda Buddhist Traditions in collaboration with the Sikkim Ecclesiastical Department in Gangtok recently. Our Sikkim correspondent tells us more.
Addressing the inaugural session, Chief Guest and Speaker of Sikkim Legislative Assembly, Arun Upreti, said that the conference will play a key role in retelling Buddhism's history and in tracing its sources. Mr. Upreti appreciated the Indian Himalayan Council of Nalanda Buddhist Traditions' work for preservation, promotion and development of Nalanda Buddhism in the Indian Trans-Himalayan region. He highlighted that the Himalayan region from Tawan to Ladakh is a rich repository of the cultural heritage of Nalanda Buddhist traditions that are undergoing rapid transformation. He expressed hope that the conference will have a positive impact on the current and future generations to understand the wise words of the Buddha and assimilate societies in the Trans-Himalayan region. Minister of Sikkim's Ecclesiastical Department, Sonam Lama, said that the conference will create opportunities of social engagement between monastic and lay communities while redefining the role of monastics in the 21st century. Vice President of the Indian Himalayan Council of Nalanda Buddhist Traditions, Venerable Ken Rinpoche Changchup Chöden, urged Himalayan cultural and religious organizations to revive the ancient Nalanda traditions of Buddhism, highlighting the significant growth in the literacy rate among Himalayan people, particularly women. Venerable Ken Rinpoche stressed the need to revisit old modes of propagation and practice of Dharma and search for new ways and methods more appropriate to contemporary people. The conference also featured in-depth sessions on Nalanda Buddhism in the footsteps of 17 Panditas of Nalanda and Nalanda Buddhism in the footsteps of Guru Padmasambhava in the Himalayas. With Saikia Sarkar, this is Tashyang Mubutia for AIR News Sikkim.
Lohit Youth Library Network, a voluntary organization led by educationist and social activist Padma Satyanarayan Mundayur, is continuously organizing various initiatives in the remote eastern Arunachal Pradesh to encourage the habit of reading among students. We have a report.
Lohit Youth Library Network at Teju in Lohit district of Arunachal Pradesh organized a 2-month-long reading aloud session for all, which concluded last week. The program targeted the government school students whose schooling and proper education were affected by the lockdown. Satyanarayan Mundayur, coordinator of the Lohit Youth Library, said that the initiative is a small effort to inculcate the habit of reading books among the students. He says that reading aloud in the right way and pronunciation can contribute in a better understanding and providing quality education among the children.
You see, as we saw during the corona days and even before, the government school students over the years have been greatly deprived of adequate exposure to spoken English and especially the reading aloud of English in the classroom. The classes used to be very crowded and, the opportunities for the reading out which earlier the teachers used to do when the number of students were less, that gradually, declined. So with that result, a lot of students had problem in reading aloud, reading a passage. So unless they hear the correct way of reading out, they won't be able to know. And when they are asked to read out, they struggle, especially the English pronunciation, then the type of usages, how English is to be read as different from Hindi or any other language. All these problems were plaguing the students, and the teachers were also helpless because large classes and the time is also not adequate and lot of other distractions to the school setup. So we in the Lohit Youth Library movement felt that we must do something on our side instead of only thinking that government could solve or the schools could solve. So we found that when we do story reading, poem recitation and, story enacting, we found that the children are very, very interested and they enjoy the thing. And some of them over the years, the Lohit Youth Library movement could bring out a band of dedicated readers who were originally readers, but they became later on volunteers. Now many of them have completed their graduation and post-graduation, and they in turn have started helping us to spread the joy of reading in. So we thought, why not we focus on this aspect, mobilizing this reading aloud skill in the government school students.
Mr. Mundayo, who is also known as Uncle Mosa, said that this reading movement should not be limited to just few people and appeal every educated people to join the movement by helping and encouraging readers wherever they are to create more educated people, which in turn will bring more goodness to the society. For Northeast Diary, this is Rakesh Dole, Air News, Itanagar.
In Nagaland, a colorful display of culture and music marked the closing of the 10-day-long Hornbill Festival 2022 at the Naga Heritage Village, Kisama, on the 10th of December. Our Kohima correspondent tells us all about it.
The 10-day Hornbill Festival 2022 came to a close after a colorful display of cultural presentation theme made in Nagaland, presented by various musicians and artists. Judge of Supreme Court, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, who is also the Executive Chairperson, National Legal Services Authority, was the honored guest of the closing ceremony.
Nagaland, a land of festival, has been on the national, international map of tourism, which is a positive step in ushering development in the state. This kind of festival brings people together from all across the globe and creates a sense of unity and diversity.
Joined by Nagaland Chief Minister Nipi Rio and other dignitaries, celebrity chef Gary Mahagan lit the Hornbill bonfire, which was followed by the unity dance representing the Naga tribes. The Hornbill Festival is a cultural extravaganza of all the Naga tribes held annually at Naga Heritage Kisama from December 1 to 10th. For Northeast Diary, this is Asunyo from AIR News, Kohima.
In Tripura, 3-day-long IG-level talks between Border Security Force and Border Guard Bangladesh was held from 7th to 9th of this month at the BSF Frontier Headquarters Tripura at Agartala. During the talks, various issues of bilateral interest to pave the way for enhancing the understanding and cooperation between both the border guarding forces of the two countries were discussed at length. More from our Agartala correspondent.
Inspector General of BSF Frontier Tripura, Mr. Sumit Saran, addressing media said during the conference various issues of bilateral interest with emphasizing on incessant issues, various trans-border crimes including drug smuggling, border violations and other pending infrastructural and developmental works were discussed. The IG said,
My dear media friends, as you all are aware that IGs BSF and region commanders BJP level Border Coordination Conference, which started on 7 December 2022 and has concluded today with signing of Joint Record of Discussion document at Agartala, Tripura. A 12-member Indian delegation participated in the conference, and 13-member delegation from Bangladesh was led by His Excellency Tanveer Kani Chaudhary, ADG, Region Commander, Southeast Region, BJP, Chattogram. During the conference, various issues of bilateral interest which would pave the way for enhancing the understanding and increased cooperation between the border guarding forces were discussed at length. Special emphasis was given to focus issues particularly insurgent activities, various trans-border crimes, including smuggling of contraband items like drugs, narcotic substances, border violations, pending infrastructure and development works, and coordinated border management plan. Issues related to confidence building amongst the troops of BSF and BGB as well as the local population on either side were also discussed. During the deliberation at the conference, leaders of both delegations were able to jointly evolve viable solutions to various bilateral issues being confronted by the both forces for creating an environment of peace and tranquility along the international boundary by amicably resolving them and to further strengthen the bond of friendship, mutual trust and cooperation. The border guarding forces of India and Bangladesh have been scaling new heights in their ever-growing friendly relationship by participating in various coordination meetings at different levels, including IG's BSF, Region Commander BJB level border coordination conference at regular intervals of 6 months over the past few years. BSF and BGB have cemented their bond of friendship and embarked upon the high pedestals of mutual trust, cooperation for resolving the bilateral border issues through meaningful dialogues at various command levels. I, as head of BSF delegation, convey my warm gratitude to Bangladesh delegations participating in the above conference and making a valuable contribution during the deliberations, which resulted in successful conclusions with agreements on issues of mutual interest.
For Northeast Diary, this is Reena Nomaitem from Agartala.
Manipur is a place where the world's largest market run by women, known as Ema Market, is located in the heart of the city. It is the only market in the world run entirely by women. Women of Manipur are known for their courage and sacrifices. During the British colonial period, the women of Manipur fought against the British colonial rule. Every year, the 12th of December is observed as Nupi Lal, meaning Women's War, remembering those women folk who stood against the colonial Britishers. Today, let us hear more about Women's War in Manipur from our Imphal correspondent J.J. Thokchom.
Nupi Lal, which means Women's War, is being observed in Manipur every year on December 12th, and this year is no exception. It is a tribute to thousands of courageous Manipuri women who valiantly stood for their rights and fought for justice against the British on 12 December 1939. The main event for this year, Nupi Lal Memorial Day, was held at Nupi Lal Memorial Complex located at Imphal on Sunday. The observation was attended by state ministers, MLAs and general public. The observation began in the morning in Imphal and a race for elderly women was held. During the main event of the observation, ministers led the gathering and paid floral tribute to the brave mothers. While addressing the gathering, ministers reminded the courage of Manipuri women and their contributions in different political and social issues of Manipur. Paying homage to the brave women of Manipur, the Nupi Lal Memorial Association Manipur lighted candles at the Nupi Lal Memorial Complex in Imphal in the evening. A play on Nupi Lal was also shown as part of the observation. In the history of Manipur, women of Manipur fought against Britishers twice, and the fight put up by the women of Manipur lasted for several months. Till today, The courage shown by Manipuri women for a good cause is being remembered. The observation was held in various places of Manipur and outside the states. JJ Thoksom, AIR News, Northeast Diary.
Let's go back in time and relive some of the brave warriors Meghalaya has seen, and among them, Pa Togan Nengminza Sangma was one such brave Garo warrior who refused to cave in to the British forces who wanted to occupy his homeland, the Garo Hills. What the Garo warriors lacked in weaponry, they made up for with bravery, with their reputation as headhunters striking fear into the British troops. Every year, 12th of December marks the death anniversary of this brave warrior across the state. He died in the year 1872. Our Shillong correspondent tells us all about this hero.
At the height of the British Empire, India was known as the jewel in the crown. As with any empire, the control of a region usually comes at a great cost to the indigenous people, who might rightly take umbrage at being dragged under the rule of a foreign country. As the British advanced into the Garo Hills in Meghalaya, they faced fierce resistance from the local tribes, headed by none other than Pa Togan Nengminza Sangma. Every year, December 12th marks his death anniversary and is commemorated at the cenotaph built in his honor at Chiso Bibra, where he died. Pa Togan Sangma is immortalized at the Martyrs Column in Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya, where his name is enshrined along with U Tirot Singh and U Kyang Nangba, two other heroes of the resistance by local tribes and kingdoms against the British. Instructor at the Directorate of Art and Culture, Government of Meghalaya, Gladborn C.H. Momin, shares some history behind Pa Togan Nengminza Sangma.
Pa Togan Nengminza was a brave Achek warrior. He was born in the village of Samanda near Williamnagar, East Garo Hills, Meghalaya. Being a large man, he has often been compared to the Philistine warrior Goliath. In the year 1872, some British soldiers entered into Garo Hills and set up camp in a village named Macharongkrek, which is situated near Chiso Bibra. Pa Togan Nengminza and other Garo warriors attacked the British soldiers while they were sleeping. Roused from sleep by the cries of their comrades, the remaining British soldiers retaliated. It was a one-sided affair, as the Garo warriors were ill-equipped. Needless to say, they suffered heavy losses, and Pa Togan Nengminza died on the spot, succumbing to a barrage of bullets. Pa Togan Nengminza fought and died for his own motherland and community. This brave warrior is remembered by the people of Garo Hills on the 12th of December every year. Till today, the Meghalaya government is also celebrating 12th December as Pa Togan Nengminza Day.
On this occasion of the 150th death anniversary of Pa Togan Nengminza Sangma, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma also released a commemorative postal stamp dedicated to the brave Garo freedom fighter. This is Rustam for Northeast Diary from AIR News Shillong.
Sikkimese mountaineer Manita Pradhan is only the third woman from the state to scale the Mount Everest, the world's highest peak. We bring to you an interview with this celebrated mountaineer from Sikkim's Soaring district. Talking to her is Usha Sharma.
Sikkimese mountaineer Manita Pradhan is only the third woman from the state to scale Mount Everest, the world's highest peak. She is the first Sikkimese woman to scale Mount Everest at its new designated height of 8848.86 meters and the first Indian woman to climb Mount Bhagirathi 3. Other peaks scaled by her include Mount Manirang, Mount Tenjingkhang, Mount DKD2 and Mount Lobuje. Manita was awarded the Sikkim Ratna in 2022. The 39-year-old began her mountaineering journey with a basic course in July 2000, an advanced course in 2011 and method of instruction in 2015. The Everest summit in 2021 also marked Manita's return to mountaineering after 4 years. Today for this interview with Northeast Diary, we have with us Manita Pradhan to share her incredible journey from starting as a tourist guide to climbing the Everest. Congratulations for becoming an inspiration for all mountaineers, Manita.
Thank you.
How did you start with mountaineering? What inspired you?
नमस्कार, मैंने 2000 में स्टार्ट किया था वहीं से मेरा माउंटेनियरिंग जर्नी स्टार्ट हुआ और आफ्टर क्लास 12 मैंने कंटिन्यूसली एज अ गाइड, एज अ जीआई एंड इंस्पायर मेरी मॉम है जो शी इज फ्रॉम सुलुखुम्बु itself.
Sulukhumbu in Nepal.
Yes, in Nepal. So she married in Sikkim. So this is my mother. She inspired me a lot.
Okay. How would you compare the challenges for aspiring mountaineers of the day to those faced by you, especially as a women?
पहले और अभी में बहुत डिफरेंट है. पहले में जैसे कि आप लोग ने देखा होगा HMI में जैसे कि तेंजिंग शेरपा सर और एडमिन हिलेरी सर ने जो इक्विपमेंट यूज किया था तब की बात और अब की बात क्वाइट डिफरेंट. सो अभी वी आर इन वेरी एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी. सो अभी बहुत कम वो है चैलेंजेस हैं. चैलेंजेस तो वही है क्लाइंबिंग के लिए, मगर हम लोग का जो कपड़ा है, जो हम लोग का इक्विपमेंट है, दैट इज वेरी एडवांस. सो वी हैव टू फेस लिटिल लेस चैलेंजेस इन दिस पॉइंट. सो अभी मैं यही बोलना चाहती हूँ कि आप लोग जो भी करना चाहते हो, सो थिंक बिफोर यू डू. और आने वाले दिन में आप करना चाहते हो तो आप लोग को गूगल में यू विल गेट एवरीथिंग इन गूगल.
Moving on, where would you rate mental toughness among the essential traits of an aspiring mountaineer?
मेंटली तो एज अ वुमन आपको कहीं पर भी फेस करना पड़ता है. तो एज अ माउंटेनियर वुमन यू हैव टू फेस लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स, मगर मुझे लगता है कि एज अ वुमन यू हैव टू प्ले अ वाइटल रोल्स. So you can handle any kind of problems. मुझे लगता है as a mother you can handle your son, daughter. As a daughter you have to handle so many relationships. So as a girl you have to handle so many things. So you can easily handle mentally tough.
बता रही है वो लोग के लिए भी किस तरह का ये मेंटल टफनेस होता है.
For them, they are, I think मुझे लगता है कि जो माउंटेनियरिंग फील्ड में आता है, लड़का हो या लड़की, they are mentally well prepared, I think. मुझे लगता है वो मेंटली प्रिपेयर नहीं होने से वो लोग फील्ड चूज नहीं करता है, क्योंकि दिस इज नॉट अ गेम कि आप लोग जाओगे, यू आर कमिंग बैक और नॉट, यही होता है. तो जो भी माउंटेनियर्स बनने के लिए आपने चूज किया है, उन लोग को पता है कि आप लोग एक बार माउंटेन में जाओगे तो आप वापस आओगे कि नहीं. तो आप बिफोर माउंटेनियरिंग होने से पहले आप मेंटली प्रिपेयर हो जाते हो.
ओके, यू हैव स्केल्ड ऑल द पिक्स दैट यू हैव ऑन योर फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट. व्हाट इज द सीक्रेट टू दिस सक्सेस?
मेरा पिताजी और माताजी है. आई थिंक दे आर सो ब्लेस्ड. मेरी माताजी और पिताजी जैसे पाया, क्योंकि ऑल द टाइम मुझे उन लोग ने कभी डिस्करेज नहीं किया, मत जाओ ये करो बोल के. मुझे ऑल द टाइम उन लोग ने बोला कि यू कैन डू इट, यू कैन कंक्यूर ईच एंड एवरी माउंटेन, यू कैन डू इट, गो फॉर इट. तुझे अब ये दिखाना है.
Which was your toughest expedition?
माउंट एवरेस्ट मेरे लिए टफेस्ट था, क्योंकि इतना जितना भी किया है, जैसे माउंट एवरेस्ट में जितना भी मैंने वेदर फेस किया, वेदर वाज वेरी टफ. जितना भी माउंटेन्स में मुझे डेड बॉडी मिला, दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट टाइम इन माउंटेन. सो द रूट इज क्वाइट टफ, क्योंकि मैं खुद एज ए अल्पाइन क्लाइंब करता तो मैं आई थिंक नहीं कर पाती, क्योंकि मेरा शेरपा लोग वहां पर था, तो डॉक्टर्स, कुंबू डॉक्टर्स वगैरह था, तो इट वाज इजी फॉर अस टू क्लाइंब. मगर हम लोग खुद कर
Did the opportunity to climb Mount Everest come a little late in your career? What was your first reaction at the summit?
मुझे लगा कि थोड़ा लेट हो गया, मगर आई यूज्ड टू से टू माय फ्रेंड, माय स्टूडेंट कि आज नहीं तो कल मैं सागरमाथा में क्लाइंब करके ही छोड़ूंगी. 80 साल में भी क्लाइंब करूंगी. तो दैट इज तो मैं वहाँ जाके एकदम बहुत खुश हो गया और उसके बाद ऑटोमेटिकली मुझे रोना आ गया कि इतने साल के बाद आपने मुझे बुलाया बोल के आई थैंक सगर माता। उसके बाद एटलीस्ट 5 मिनट तक मैं रोई होगी वहाँ पर। आई क्राइड बिकॉज ऑफ हैप्पीनेस आई थिंक।
Not scaling Mount Everest is an unfulfilled dream of every mountaineer. Please share your views.
That's true. आप जो भी क्लाइंबिंग करो, K2 करो, कंचनजंगा क्लाइंब करो, आप एवरेस्ट नहीं करोगे तो you're not a माउंटेनर बोलेगा, फिर इट्स नॉट नथिंग बोलेगा, ऑब्वियसली काउंट नहीं करेगा। तो आई थिंक माउंट एवरेस्ट इज माउंट एवरेस्ट।
Of your current mission of 7 summits.
मैं 7 समिट कर रही हूँ। जस्ट बिफोर अगस्त में मैंने 24 में मैंने एल्ब्रूस क्लाइम किया यूरोप में। उसके बाद अभी प्लानिंग टू गो नेक्स्ट मंथ साउथ अमेरिका एकांगुआ। स्पॉन्सर ठीक हुआ तो मैं एम प्लानिंग टू गो नेक्स्ट मंथ। मोस्ट प्रोबेबली 2023 में खत्म करने के लिए सोच रही हूँ। सबका हेल्प चाहिए मुझे, सबका ब्लेसिंग्स चाहिए।
What is your message for young mountaineers?
आप लोग आओ, करो, प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ, वी कैन डू इट। ये सोच के आना कि आप कर सकते हो। सिर्फ माउंटेनियर को नहीं बोल रही हूँ, सब यूथ के लिए है कि ये दिल में रखना कि आप जो भी करोगे मैं करूंगी बोल के, हमेशा कर पाऊंगी। वी कैन डू इट। करना तो यू कैन डू इट।
Thank you, Manita, for sharing your experience. We hope you'd continue to inspire youngsters
by Sharmila Goswami and assisted by Kamlesh Mudgal. It was brought to you by the News Services Division of All India Radio.